And action.
Action Jackson.
What's going on, folks? It's time for another movie talk edition of Distorted Minds, Christmas edition.
Hey.
Homo Alone.
Homo Alone.
My choice for this episode was Home Alone, the classic. Macaulay Culkin.
Very much a classic.
Joe Pesci.
And then the one I picked is it's like a cult classic comedy movie. It's pretty fucking good. It's called The Night Before. It's got Seth Rogan.
It's a cult classic?
Kind of, yeah.
All right.
Is it that old yet?
It's like 10 years old, man.
Is it
yeah.
that old?
Yeah.
Damn.
2015, I
Yeah.
think.
So
Really?
close to 10 years, yeah.
Nice.
So fucking, yeah. It's got Anthony Mackie, Seth Rogan, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
So it's a fucking, I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like this might be one of them short episodes because it's
Well-
a couple of comedies and
Well, so I don't know if you did, but I also watched Home Alone 2. So I wanted to talk about them both, honestly.
I didn't watch it.
That's
been
okay.
Forever.
Trump is at the beginning.
I thought
of the
about
second one,
watching
right?
it.
Yeah, he's
Right.
in when he first gets to the hotel.
At the hotel, yeah. That was all I remember, really.
I actually
Just him running
fucking
into-
did some movie watching this time. So we got, and plus we got a guest on today. We got Nate, man. He's gonna help break it down with us.
Breaking it down.
Vaping Nate.
All right, so let's do us up a snapshot and we'll get into it.
Beer time. Queer beer.
I ain't gonna drink no trans beer.
This is the time for those
What are you kidding me?
fast disclaimer words to be stuck in there.
Yeah, listener discretion advised.
Dude, I'm on that Ronnie Chang's shit. I'm just like, cancel me. I don't give a fuck.
There's nothing to cancel, bro.
Right.
We're bottom of the barrel.
Right.
So it's no biggie. I feel like we can say the N-word.
I don't know about that.
This is the second time in a row I've been over here. Kevin tried to drop the N-word.
I was like, I don't know about that. I think if that happens, me and Nate are just gonna slide out of frame and be like, we don't know that guy.
Just jokes, folks. I'm not running around saying the N-word.
No.
But did you watch any other movies? Man, let's get
Oh
into
yeah,
it.
yeah, I definitely did this time. I
Go
came
movie for movie.
I came
for movie.
prepared.
All right, throw one out there. Stick it in my ass.
The newest one? Ooh. I like that. Oh shit. But no, I watched the Simpsons movie, dude.
Oh,
I
yeah?
forgot how fucking good that movie
Is it that good?
I think it's past 2002 Simpsons, all the best writing and jokes are definitely in the fucking movie. Because if you take a side by side from the Simpsons movie to the show, the movie's a lot funnier than the show was at that period. Because I think that movie came out in 2008, somewhere around there, 2009.
The movie definitely pushed some boundaries.
I think I've only seen it once.
They showed Bart's wiener in the movie.
Yep,
Oh, yeah,
because
I
there's
remember
there's this clip where he's doing the naked run on the skateboard, and then it blocks it the whole time, and then he hits this bush, and there's a gap in the bush,
Yep.
and you just see it for 5 seconds. Yeah,
I let Charlotte watch that 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, "Simpsons is fine. I grew up on Simpsons,
And then that part.
yeah, they showed his wiener, and Charlotte was like, "Oh my god!"
well, and there's always the Simpsons always push those boundaries though. We're just is this for kids or is it for adults? You know what I mean? It was it was really the first cartoon to do that. It was the originator of this is not really a kid show.
Yeah. I was watching an old episode recently, and it was Homer and Marge were going to bed, and she was turn out the light, and he was ooh, scheduled, he's or not scheduled sex time or whatever. But he didn't. I don't think he said sex, but it was like pretty clear.
One of the funnier bits in the movie happens at the very beginning where like Homer's trying to fix the roof, and then he accidentally fucking hits his thumb instead of the nail and then sticks the hammer into his eye. And Bart starts laughing, and he looks at Bart and he goes, "How dare you laugh at something that's funny?" and starts choking him. Like there's like, you know, the classics. There's a lot of classic Simpsons bit. And then
ay caramba, dude.
Don't have a cow, man.
But there's the great thing about the movie is like the show had really kind of lost its way, where there was a balance between like stuff that push the boundaries, like really good like jokes, but then also like those heartwarming things, you know what I mean, that you just don't really fucking get out of it anymore. But that movie had all that kind of stuff.
Turn your mic a little. Sorry.
They became
the
like
other way.
This way?
South Park.
Is that? Oh, that's the one. That's the one.
Go ahead.
I think they became like a South Park version of themselves. It's like everybody tries to stick up with like too much of what's current and stuff, and they try to like add a lot of that into the newer episodes. It seems like I don't watch a lot of it anymore.
Yeah,
Did you watch any movies, Nate, recently?
That
you can remember?
Shit.
I know. I always have to jot mine down, or else I'll forget.
Yeah, it is. I was just telling him. I mean, that Yu Yu Hakusho is kind of one of the only things I really kind of watched recently. I think. Yeah, I don't know, man.
You did say you watched Home Alone, though, right?
Yeah, I did watch Home Alone like a week or two ago.
Christmas time.
Just out of nowhere, because it is like my favorite Christmas movie for sure.
You know what, Drew? It's almost been a year of you doing the movie podcast already. Remember? Because the last time we started on the Christmas movies, but it was in January.
Yeah, because it was the shit that you and Mike had picked, and then Mike had stopped doing it.
Scrooged
so, damn.
And,
that's great. Dude, I cannot believe it's been a year
it's
already.
Been a year already.
It's wild, man.
I know, right?
And it's cool, because I feel like I'm not necessarily. No, I would say I'm in a better place now than I was, because I just got that FedEx job, and I was like, I liked it because it was cool, because I got through all the holiday bullshit, and then I was like, you know,
holiday.
I was running like my, you know, morning shift, like fucking 8 to 3, like, so it wasn't bad. But the problem was the motherfucker I was like contracted under, like he like wasn't paying me, so. Now I don't have to worry about that. I always get fucking paid. So, like,
all right, let me throw a movie at you.
Yeah, throw a movie at me.
The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I saw you posted that.
That fucking movie rules, dude.
I need. It's on my list of movies. I haven't gotten around to watching it though.
The first time I watched it, I was like, "What the fuck is this, dude?" And I was a little thrown off by the way everybody talks in there and shit, because it's really weird. Everybody's got like this weird non-emotional cadence to their way they speak and shit, but that movie is so fucking weird and crazy and just like shocking. And I love Colin Farrell. I love Barry Keoghan. Nicole Kidman I could give a shit less about, but she's aight in this movie.
Well, I'm gonna throw two at you.
All right.
Because one of them I tried to watch, and I was like, I just can't. I was like, I understand this movie is not made for me, but it's like, I just can't. So I mean, in spite of the fact of how hot Margot Robbie is, I tried to watch the Barbie movie. I was like, fuck it. It's like midnight, and I'm just trying to like watch something.
On
to fall
HBO
asleep.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I got like
anymore.
I think I got like 15 or 20 minutes into the movie, and I had to turn it off. I was like, I can't do it.
I like the
I
director.
watched about that much too.
Yeah.
I like the director. She's the one who did Lady Bird, if you remember that one.
Sure. But I was just like the like, you know, and it's fine, because I know like the comedy in that movie is like, it's clearly not for me. Like this movie is not made for me. I am not part of that.
You're not the demographic.
Yeah, I'm not the demographic for that movie. So it's like, you know, and but I went into it. I was like, you know, I've heard like people that I work with say that this movie's fine and that it's funny.
Did you make it to the Kins, where the Ken dolls are like hanging out on the beach and shit?
Yeah, I made it to that. That was kind of funny.
Michael Cera in that movie is pretty funny, I thought. Like, I feel like maybe I watched a little more than 20, 30 minutes, but I definitely didn't finish it. And then I seen a little bit clip at the end, but I mean, I could probably watch it all the way through if I tried.
Right. If it was like a homework assignment, I could definitely do it, but I don't think I would like attempt to watch it again on my own volition. But then the movie that I ended up watching, like after trying to watch that movie, was Spaceballs, which is a fucking classic. Like, I mean,
love
Rick
Moranis.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus.
Mick
Tongue-tied.
Moranis.
But Rick Moranis is my favorite fucking character in that movie. It's like,
I didn't see you playing with your dolls, sir.
well, he's like, no, sir, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again, sir. Like, my favorite though is where he's like, Lieutenant asshole. He's like, oh, that's my cousin.
How many assholes we got on this ship?
And he's like, I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Or how about when they're fucking combing the desert? You guys found anything? Man, we ain't found shit.
He's like,
They were literally combing.
yeah. He's like, don't you think we're taking this too literally? No, you idiots. He said comb the desert. What's
John
the matter,
Candy,
Colonel?
bro? Fuck.
Yeah. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders?
R.I.P.
Chicken?
He's in Home Alone.
Oh yeah,
dude,
he sure is. He
Pizza
sure
the
is.
Hut. I got an interesting clip that I'm gonna show you later.
I'm gonna buy that jacket, dude. The
Polka King.
The Polka King, dude.
Hell yeah,
Fuck
dude.
yeah, it's like yellow with the red and shit.
Dude, it's fucking yeah.
They sell that shit online, bro.
Dude,
But
that-
they do. That's fucking.
Oh, you'll
I
rock
was
the-
like, dude, I want that jacket.
You'll fucking rock the fuck out of that.
Hell
man.
yeah, dude.
All right, let me throw one at you. I Want You Back. Have you heard of it? It's a Amazon movie. It's got Charlie Day and Jenny Slate, who I fucking adore. It was funny. It was cute. You know, it was like a rom-com. Fucking a little predictable and cheesy, but it was adorable. I like a rom-com every once in a while.
Sure.
Harry Met Sally. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good. Anything else?
Oh yeah. I told you I've watched some fucking movies for this one.
If you think of one, you could throw one out too.
This one is it's an anime movie. So I grew up on Studio Ghibli movies. He's kind of like the Japanese version of Walt Disney, but his movies have like much deeper stories and meanings. Like I think he's the superior version of that because like his animation is much better. Like all his shit is still like to this day hand drawn. I mean, there are like some stuff there's still some stuff that's edited in with a computer, but for the most part his shit is hand drawn. But it's his final movie because he's like fucking 90 now, but this is like the last movie he was a part of like hand drawing. It's called The Boy and the Heron. So I went with my buddy Dylan.
In the theater?
Yep, I went with my buddy Dylan to see it in the theater because he like really wanted to see it, and I was pretty much the only person that would go with him. And I was like, I love a lot of those movies, so fuck it, I'll go see it with you.
Good?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was different because usually the plots of his movies are much more secular, and it's like the storytelling is fluid, so it's like a very straightforward story. This one was a little more trippy. It was almost like if you took like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and then combined it with like the Chronicles of Narnia, where like you like go through like a door and it's like a whole nother world kind of deal. It's like one of those kind of movies. So for like usually his storytelling is a little more straightforward, where this one was kind of fucking
Wizard
trippy.
of Oz did it first.
Well, yeah, you're right. But you know exactly what the kind of thing I'm talking about. But with this like all his, there's a lot more metaphors for things, and the story is much less linear. So I think it would be a really cool movie to take some shrooms and watch. Honestly,
Do you like Wizard of Oz?
Dude, I've like done all the like trips and
I
watched
fucking
it
love
with
it.
music and shit.
Yeah,
You
I've never
know?
done the Pink Floyd thing.
We did that one.
We should do that
We
together,
did,
Kevin.
two
Like,
different
I'm down.
ones.
I'm fucking down too, man. I'll just have to.
It's cool.
It's all right. I
But
fucking
don't
love
like
that movie, dude.
You like the movie like a lot,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just to watch that movie.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I can't say I really ever got it.
The Scarecrow rules. The last one on my list is Inglourious Bastards.
Ooh, that's a fucking good one.
I forgot how
That
much
is so
you have
good,
to
dude.
read in that movie.
Arrivederci.
Quite a bit. But yeah, it's it's fun. It's a good one. Good Tarantino one. Not my favorite, but
Oh
it's
man, but that my favorite line in that movie is when Brad Pitt looks at that first Nazi before you meet the Bear Jew, and he goes, "Well, I'm tickled to hear you say that because watching Donnie beat Nazi brains in is about the closest thing we get to going to the movies."
That was pretty good.
Hell yeah,
Kind
it
of sounded like a
Hell yeah, it was. You can tell he liked that shit. He liked that movie. That movie was good, dude. What about The Men Who Stare at Goats? You ever seen that one?
With George Clooney.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Is it good?
Yes, dude.
I
you
feel
gotta
like I
watch that
tried to
movie.
watch it once.
I'll fucking all right. I got my new my next picks. I'm gonna pick fucking that movie, and I'm gonna pick Grosse Point Blank. I'm saying it now.
Hell yeah.
That's what's going down.
Hey,
Gross.
motherfucker stared at a goat and stopped its heart, bro.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that
That
shit.
shit was so funny.
It is
just
such a
falls
funny
over.
movie. It is
The
such
one dude
a
that tries to
funny
run through
movie.
walls. He hadn't made it yet. He keeps trying.
What else? Anything else?
Yeah, man. I watched
all
a
you know.
lot of movies. Well, this is a double because they're kind of. I really like
Double,
both these
double.
movies. It's fucking. I love Spider-Man. He's like my favorite.
yeah.
He's my favorite Marvel superhero. Like him, and I would say like him and Wolverine are like my two favorites. But I like Spider-Man a little bit more. I think like his stories are just they're just deeper stories, and I think some of his villains are just more memorable. But I watched both the Into the Spider-Verse and the Across the Spider-Verse. I watched both of those movies again, and I was like, damn, these movies are so good. Like, and it's kind of surprising. So they're supposed to be kids movies, but they're fucking.
Yeah,
also,
they're deep.
they're fucking well,
And they
they're
go hard on like the fucking Spider-Man lore too.
yeah.
You know?
And, well,
Like, you got to know a lot sometimes to really catch everything.
But I also feel like just the storytelling in general is so much better than a lot of the shit that Marvel and DC have put out in the last, like, you know, basically since like the in-game movie. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
it's because you could do more with the animation than you can.
I think that is part of it, but I also just think that the writing is better. Like they go deeper into characters. Like the characters that are more powerful, there's actually an explanation for it instead of like this character has this power, and they're like,
they kind of rush shit.
yeah, well, because like they were so successful with that first like big phase, right? Like that,
Yeah.
you know, like phases 1 through 3, where we get the big finale with Thanos. That's a hard thing to top, and like they've also tried to pander a little too much, which is what like they did in the comic books, right? Like a lot of these characters we're seeing are not like, they're new characters that were like from like 2012 to like 2015, and they didn't fucking work. Their comic books failed because, you know, most people that read comic books are, you know, fat nerds, like fat male nerds, like,
Yep.
you know, so it's like, you know, for them it is kind of a power trip
Like
seeing like a
comic
big
book guy.
yeah, like exactly. That is, you know, that is probably a good like 40% of comic book fans is like big fat dudes like comic book guy.
You read the
100%.
actual comics?
So sometimes, like, it just depends. Like, I don't buy a lot of comics, but if it's like
Same.
something I specifically like Mike got me that Last Ronin for Christmas last year.
Oh, was that dope?
Dude, it is really good.
I want to get that. I want to get the full compilation.
Yeah, he got me the book. Yeah, the big full compilation book, and it's pretty good. And then like I've bought like random ones like Flash Gordon Zyke. It's like a Hitler. It's like the Nazis. Flash Gordon used to fight the Nazis a lot, so
Yep.
it's like I bought one of those. And I was like, this is kind of cool. But other than that, yeah, I don't really read comics. I can't really say that I'll buy them because I like the art sometimes, you know, if they're like $1.50 or something, you know. But
I'm the same way. Like I had a lot of comic books as a kid, but the only ones like as an adult I really collected were like I have like these huge editions of Spawn.
hell
Like, I
yeah, dude,
fucking
Spawn's
love-
the shit, dude.
So I've got volumes like I have.
I
the,
could find myself reading those though.
Yeah. Well, and it's because it's for adults.
Right.
That is not a kid's comic
No.
book. But so I have like the first like I think 25 issues of Spawn, like original issues. But then I have like the mega volumes that start at like issue 12 to like issue 106. But they stopped printing them after a certain point, and they stopped making them. So like I've got volumes I think 2 through 5 and they went up to 6 and 7, but I can't even fucking find them. I can't even find that shit on Amazon. It's so rare because it was such a limited printing of those. Because they realized we kind of fucked up. We're selling these books for like $50, and there's like, 10, 20 comic books compacted into them.
So what
So you
other
like the
movies
movie?
did you watch?
You like the Spawn movie? That's what I was gonna say. Lead right back
I
into
like
the Spawn
I
movie.
love the HBO series. I actually think the HBO series is the best. Is honestly has the best version of Spawn and Clown. I like the movie when I was a kid because I was in the Spawn. Like
Right.
my mom should not have been letting me read Spawn comics as a
I don't
kid.
think I've ever seen the HBO series.
It's a cartoon. That's why. But,
Okay.
Yeah, but the movie, like I loved it as a kid, but as
John
an adult,
Leguizamo, though, dude.
yeah.
I just love John Leguizamo, dude.
So he has my favorite line in that whole movie, and that line is where he's like literally like shooting huge like explosive rounds at Spawn, and he's like you guys have never been worthy. He's like, you've never lived up to what it means to be a soldier in Hell's Army. He's like, it's a fucking honor to be a Hell Spawn, and he's like, honestly that's the best scene and line in that whole movie. But actively watching it, I was like, man, the animation sequences are super dated. Like when he transformed, like the Violator itself. The Violators itself looks really cool, like when he's holding Spawn.
When was that made? Like 2010? 2008?
No, it was made in 1999, bro.
99?
It's old.
Yeah, I thought so. This is old, but
but it's
think
like
10
the
years
animation is dated, and honestly, the movie itself is really fucking bad.
When was the last time you watched it?
Probably like 5 years
It
ago.
doesn't hold up.
Yeah, dude, that movie does not.
Have
hold
you
up
watched
at
it,
all.
Kevin?
A long ass time ago. I don't really remember.
But the show is like, and the show is kind of the same way, where like the dialogue and the story of the show, the cartoon, is so on point, and it's fucking brutal and graphic, and it's very much for like adults, but it's like it's hand drawn, but like the hand drawn stuff for it is like, they only had like a limited budget and a limited time to do it. So the animation is really, it's kind of shit. So it's like the show and the movie kind of are very dated visually, but the story and the dialogue in the show are so fucking on point. Like, there's a child killer. Sorry, we totally got off movie topic, Kevin. Like,
Yeah, you're really stretching this out.
It is it's a movie.
but I'll finish after this, and we'll get into the movies. I know you're getting
I was gonna
impatient.
say, I got something to throw in because of John Leguizamo,
Yeah.
though. Violent Night. Have you guys watched that one?
No.
I watched that one. That's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, the Santa Claus movie. Yeah, well, we'll just
It's fucking good. Yeah.
I'll talk about my
ahead.
other shit on the other podcast. Like, I'll bring it back up. Like,
You know what I watched recently with John Leguizamo was Spun. You seen it?
oh yeah, you were telling me
think
about
so.
that.
Yeah, the meth movie. It's
I'm
fucking
gonna have
crazy.
to check that out now.
It's got fucking Brittany Murphy and fucking.
Oh shit! Of course.
Yeah, dude, it's a crazy one,
She
but it's
got
good.
hooked.
John Schwartzman and fucking. Oh boy, that was the wrestler.
Actually, there was one more movie I watched. I watched this again. I love this movie. It's a fucked up movie though. I watched American History X.
Love it.
I love that movie, dude. It's a good movie, but it's every time I have like that visceral reaction. It's such a hard movie to
know,
watch.
dude. That first scene, dude, when he fucking stomps that dude in the curb, dude.
Yeah,
That shit's rough, bro. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's other parts, but
there are like
that scene,
There goes-
just
That's-
hearing that
that's
dude's
the worst
teeth
scene, yeah.
on the curb, like his teeth
Yeah.
when they touch the curb right before he stomps. It's like, oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this just makes you cringe.
Brutal.
So
Yeah,
bad,
it's
dude.
brutal. There's a lot of it's the same with like the grocery store scene, right? Where it's just like oh man,
Right.
the fucking rape scene.
He
is
got raped,
rough
right?
too.
Yeah, dude,
That's
This
It
bitch
was
stinks.
fucked
She
up.
smells like what does he say? Beans and guacamole or something. She smells
yo. Oh,
beans
man.
and cheese and guacamole or some shit like that.
It's fucked up.
Oh shit! Should we get into a movie or what?
Yeah,
We're already
yeah, we-
fucking 25 minutes into the pond.
Hey,
You asked.
hey, man.
asked for it.
You wanted it.
Get these guys started on comic book movies. They won't stop.
Damn, hater.
I am a hater.
Let's start with the night before, because I would kind of like to talk about Home Alone 1 and 2 kind of in conjunction.
Okay, it's been forever since I've seen number 2.
Well, don't worry. You know I'm
Ain't
going to
been
break
that long
in.
since you took a number 2, though.
Nope, not at all. The Night Before, 2015 comedy drama, director Jonathan Levine. We got a 68 tomato meter and a 61 audience.
I feel like that's
It's in the 60s.
Yeah, honestly, I definitely, because it's like, so this movie kind of falls under that same banner as like Pineapple Express and you know, all those movies that Rogan made in this time frame, because you know, from 2010 to like 2018, like there were a lot of movies that were like, this is definitely like almost a niche kind of humor. It's like raunchy, kind of like stoner drug humor, and there's a ton of movies that Seth Rogan made, but also like other people made that are, you know, they're not for everybody. Like not everybody like finds those movies funny, but I think they're funny as shit. Like
Yeah,
it's a pretty fun.
and
Christmas
there's
movie.
some really like fun and cool scenes, like when they do the Kanye song on the piano. Like I love that scene. Or they do the fucking
that song
Run
is
DMC.
still relevant today. Like I always hear it on fucking TikTok and shit.
Yup. Or the scene where they do Run DMC like at karaoke.
Oh yeah,
you know? Like,
fuck yeah. Christmas in Hollis.
Yup.
my absolutely favorite part of the whole movie is when Seth Rogen's tripping on the mushrooms.
Dude, Seth Rogen had me rolling
And
in this
he
movie.
sees his wife outside of the church, and then he's inside, and he's like, "We didn't kill you.
We didn't do
We
that."
didn't do it. He,
It wasn't us.
He, like pukes all over the fucking floor and runs out of that bitch. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
that shit has me dying every
I know.
time I
He's
see
like,
it.
look what my wife gave me for Christmas, and it's just a box filled with like every drug you can imagine.
Right.
Yeah,
And she's
he's like,
but man, she really doesn't know the proportions.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She doesn't know a lot about drugs. The proportions are all off.
That's great.
Let me throw the tagline. I got a couple. 3 wise men, 1 wild Christmas. That's kind of fun. Then the other one's the perfect stoner's Christmas movie, or it says Xmas, but yeah.
But yeah, and honestly, that's pretty fucking on point. Pretty on point.
You got
Friday after next. Come on, man.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
Christmas movie, right?
Technically, yeah, you're right. Technically, is.
more than Batman was. Mike. What was it? Batman Return.
Batman
man.
Returns.
Yeah.
Yep.
You didn't think so?
Michael Keaton.
I always thought it was a Christmas movie when I was a kid.
Just because it
I mean, it basically takes place during
I
Christmas
just loved
time.
Batman as
Doesn't
a kid.
have shit
and
to
this
do
was
with Christmas, though.
I know, dude, but
It's true.
pretty much does, though.
So I know some people do consider it. It was on a list when I looked up Christmas movies.
Nice.
I
But
was,
so was Die Hard, and Bruce Willis said it himself that it's not a Christmas movie.
the man spoken.
Pull that up, Jamie.
I was gonna say my other favorite scene is with Seth Rogen and Michael Shannon, because that's like one of my favorite scenes too. The church scene, it's so fucking funny. But I love it when he's in the car with Michael Shannon and you hear like Michael Shannon
That
snapping
dude
his
was
fingers.
fucking funny, dude.
And Seth Rogen wakes up and Michael Shannon looks at me and he's like, "I need you to give me $100 and get the fuck out of my car."
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that dude had me cracking up. It's so fucking. And
What was so funny about him is like his delivery was so dry and so serious, but it's like he's in so many movies where every scene he's in, he steals that whole fucking scene. Like he's so good, whether it's like dramatic or comedy. Like he fucking
I
crushes
know I've
it.
seen him in other things, but like I just can't think of what it was. You know, he's one of those guys that you just see around.
Yeah. Well, it's like he's in the Iceman. Like he's the mob killer. Like he's fucking great in that movie. Now,
Never
like
heard
the
of
movie,
it.
well, the movie itself is not good because like they like try and make him more sympathetic than what he really is. Like he's
Yeah.
like really a fucking monster in real life. It's based off a true serial
What was
killer.
that guy's? That either like a Russian name or some shit, right?
It's like Polanski or
Well,
something like that. Like,
because they called him the Polak in the
Yep.
movie, right?
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
the one. Yeah,
he was he could never like
Polish.
he could never climb the ranks of the Italian mob, but he was a hitman and he was vicious, and he
I
killed
thought that
them.
movie was good.
Yeah, it's good, but it's like, but if you listen to like
The real story of
the
that
real
shit.
story
Yeah.
and like the tapes and like him getting into like the shit he actually did, and you realize like, because in the movie it's like, you know, he killed a couple people. In real life, that dude might have killed like 100 people. Like,
Right. That dude's the cab driver. Who was he in the movie?
He was the drug dealer.
He was the drug dealer.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Michael
don't
Shannon's a
remember.
drug.
I haven't
weed
seen it
guy.
that recently.
He was
so.
the weed guy.
He's
yeah.
the lead guy.
Okay.
But big spoiler alert for all you nerds that haven't watched this movie.
Nerds.
He's also like that. So the whole thing, this movie, this, you know, the three friends, and his parents die like on Christmas Eve, and so his friends spend Christmas with him, and then like
Every year they just party, go out and fucking
they do all
drink
the
and
same stuff. Yeah, but there was this one year, like a couple years into them doing this tradition where they, you know, spend it together, where they found out about this crazy party called the Nutcracker Ball that had these really cool like invitation cards. And so they spent like 10 years trying to
find
figure
it.
out where this place was and get invitations. Well, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character at the beginning of the movie, it's like, you know, like 10 years later, he accidentally finds them in somebody's like coat. He's like,
he's working coat check.
He's
you know?
working coat check, and he literally leaves his job and steals because there's 3 tickets, and he's like, yo, you're never gonna believe this, because they have decided that this is going to be
the last one.
The last
they're
one.
ending the tradition.
They're ending tradition because they're all going on different life paths. Well,
Yeah,
you know,
I remember a little better now.
but the big spoiler is that the weed dealer, Michael Shannon in this movie, Mr. Green, it's his fucking party. Like, so the whole time the party they're trying to get into is by the guy they've been buying weed from for like
They
10 years.
probably
Like,
coulda got in.
yeah.
I could have got in.
You got fucking Tracy Morgan narrating at the beginning
Dude,
and at
it's,
the end.
well, yeah, it's
I love
so
Tracy
fun.
Morgan.
I do too,
that
man.
fool's
He's so
fucking
funny.
hilarious, dude. He's like
my bowels all over my toilet. The harder she blows. It's a different movie, but just Tracy Morgan. I love it.
He's funny and everything. You know, he's got that cadence.
Yeah.
How he speaks.
Yeah.
He goes Drew with the impressions again.
I swear.
Yeah, and you got Jillian Bell in there, who I love from Workaholics and shit. Fucking
You
Jillian.
fucking Miley Cyrus shows up out of nowhere at the party.
Yeah,
that was
she's weird
when,
looking, man.
Well, that was when, you know, she first blew up though too. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess so.
Her teeth are just real large, dude. I think.
Yeah.
Like the front teeth.
yeah,
It's like
she-
at that
she just
time,
has, like, a
something
really-
about her face was skinny and her teeth were large.
Well,
She had a
she's got a
stupid
real
haircut too.
Yeah, she's got a real
the
big
movie.
We're
smile.
shitting on fucking Miley Cyrus.
It's
that
alright.
bitch.
Did she ever listen to this? She'd be like, "Fuck you guys, I'm a millionaire." Like,
Yeah.
I know, man. I'm just saying. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah, you're allowed to
3
punch
white
up.
guys.
yeah, you're allowed to punch up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fair game.
Said all these
Even
notes.
if it is Miley
Yeah, dude.
Cyrus. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Seth Rogen really did have me cracking up though. Just all the drugs, like he gets fucking, and it kind of seems a little real when he's on mushrooms, and then like he's talking to the chick, and like
He was sweating,
she
dog.
says something to freak him out and shit, and he has to go into the bathroom and snort a bunch of coke to try to
that's
level
like when
himself
he's
out.
in the. It's like when he's in the limo and he's already done mushrooms and coke, and he's like really starting to freak
drenched in
out.
sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he
he's
sells
like,
that
I'm gonna
shit.
be cool. He's at the
He
party.
sells it so good.
He
yeah.
does, dude. He was probably the funniest one in this movie. Yeah. See, we talked about all these notes. Oh yeah, the chick that fucking the black dude fucks and she steals his weed and shit, and then
yeah,
he sees
she's
her-
like the Grinch character in the movie.
he sees her later and he running after her and shit, and then she drops the micro machines like on Home Alone, which is funny. That's a funny reference that connected.
Yeah, I forgot that there was like a little
he does.
interconnected
Yeah, he
thing,
does the fucking like Joe Pesci or who was it? I think
It was
Pesci.
Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. Yep.
They both did.
Yeah, they both.
I never
they
knew
get them
that
both.
dude's name.
Yep.
Daniel Stern.
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
knew his
yeah.
name. I just knew him as the Wet Bandit, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
And then number 2, he's
fucking
there, the sticky
Marv.
bandits. Marv. Yeah,
Yep.
Marv.
Why
Yep.
you always gotta do that?
that's good.
You're fucking sick in the head.
Fucking sick.
Well, he doesn't say fuck, but he's like, you're sick in the head. Like, you're sick in the head.
Yeah, they doesn't really cuss. They threw in like other funny little,
Well,
like fudge or some shit.
We'll get into that. Like,
but yeah, basically, what else happens? It did get a little emotional towards the end. You know what I mean? When they smoke the weed and it cuts back to the old Christmas right after his parents died and shit. And
you get
they
that.
play Nintendo 64 and shit.
Yep.
So that was kind of nice.
Well, and it's it's a goofy movie, and all this crazy stuff happens, and they kind of try and just keep reliving this tradition. And from what you see, it's kind of a dope tradition, like the Kanye piano song, and then the fucking
Karaoke.
the karaoke, the fucking playing Nintendo. Like, I was like,
Yeah, dude, it'd be a wild
that
ass
would be
fun night. Dude.
Yeah, it would have been. But
if you could make it from place to place, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's such a good message, though. It's like, it's okay to grow up and like grow out of like some traditions and then start new ones. Like, because they're all at that point where they're like trying to build families. It's okay to get to that place where like, we're not fucking 20-year-olds anymore, so we're not going to be fucking partying like this forever. But it's okay to like grow and have new traditions and like try to like grow as people together.
Right.
Like, that's a fucking great message,
you're doing
dude.
family shit
And that's
with your
like,
friends.
yeah, and it's like those group of people where it's like they're your like close friends and they've kind of become your family too, right? And it's like it's okay to start new traditions with that. And I love that message about this movie. It's kind of like, you know what I mean?
Nice.
It's like something you wouldn't expect out of like such a fucking silly, crazy comedy, but like that's really the underlying theme of this whole movie is like moving on from being young, but also accepting like that it's okay to like build this new bridge.
Totally. There was another fucking Home Alone reference whenever what's her name goes into labor and then Seth Rogan does the fucking Home Alone.
Yep.
So I thought that was funny too. It's kind of cool.
I do like the delivery scene too. Like right before she gives birth, it's like I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out. I said I was fine, but I'm not fine.
Oh yeah, when he's on drugs and he sends her the fucking video of him just like, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, then he plays it for her and she laughs.
Yeah,
and then she's like, babe, I'm good. She's like, you telling me that you're freaked out and you've been my rock this whole time? He's like, I'll be your rock. He's like, that's great because you kind of look like a dinosaur to me right now.
Yeah. In summary, I liked it more than I thought I would. I have seen it before, but I don't know. I kind of went in thinking like, it's not gonna.
And you know what's funny is,
it did, dude. I really fucking enjoyed it.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, you know what, Kevin's gonna go into this movie, and he's probably gonna be like, I don't think I'm gonna like this movie.
Well,
but by the
not
end
that I wouldn't like it. I just didn't think I would laugh as much, and I don't know. I thought it would have not held up as well as the first time. I mean, I liked it well enough the first time.
Right.
So.
It's a pretty funny movie, though. I think it's like one of those sleeper things where it's like, it really is kind of like a pretty decent Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We ready to rate it? We want to do that?
I'm down. What are you at?
I'm at like a 7, man.
Same.
I think it's a fucking solid movie.
Same.
Like it's got a few like jokes and stuff that don't land, but like at the same time, like I think I do think Seth Rogan kind of carries like the load of like being like the funny part of it, and then there's other shit that's kind of situationally funny, and like Anthony Mackie and Joseph, they like don't bring as much comedy as like some of like the side characters or like Seth does, but still funny. Still a good
good watch.
Good watch and fucking good message. So like, definitely. Yeah.
Have you ever seen 50-50?
I have. I like that movie
pretty
too.
Good, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. What would you rate it if you had?
Oh, I definitely agree on the 7. 7.5, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I when I think about it fondly enough that I'm like, man, I want to rate this better than a 7. Because 7 seems too close to 68% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, Man, 7 is a pretty good score, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's
only
pretty good.
8, 9, and 10 after that.
That's
right?
true.
Unless you're taking it to 11. But
I don't think there's any movies we
yeah.
picked that we would give an 11 so far, honestly.
Only
you haven't watched
Yeah, I
your
don't know.
favorite movie of all time yet?
I have, but that was when Mike was on the pod. There Will Be Blood.
Oh, yeah. That's a fuck.
We're talking about getting together to watch it.
Hell yeah, dude.
soon.
I
I
don't
would
think I've
fucking
ever
love
seen
it. It's got one of the greatest endings of all time,
Fucking
man.
brilliant movie.
Yeah,
It's,
'cause
but it's that movie changed my opinion on what a movie can be. You know what I mean? That shit set the bar, bro.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but maybe I hype it up too much. Some people.
That's
don't do
it's
that.
okay to be. It's okay to feel that. Like for me, it's weird for me because like I don't really have a favorite movie. I just have like a kind of like a grouping of movies that I think are like the best movies in this genre, and like I've watched those movies so many fucking times. But I don't. It's hard for me to like say this is my favorite. It's kind of like with like somebody
feel
like,
that.
well, what's your favorite song? Well, it's like honestly, my favorite song like has changed over
changed.
time, and it changes all the time. Now, if you were like, what's your favorite band? I'd
You
be
don't
like,
have like a
fucking-
top 3 though that's always gonna be like, these are like my top 3 favorite.
Well, for musicians, like I have like my top 3 musicians, and that really hasn't changed.
That's
It's
not like movies.
It's like, well, with movies, no, man, I don't know. Like, movies are a little different for me because, like, movies and music are a little different for me. Like, I get stuck on music longer than I get stuck on movies because, like, with a movie, I could watch it, 3, 4, 5 times, fucking love it, and then like, come like a year later, watch it again, and it's like, I don't know. I was like, I used to love this movie, and it was kind of like when we did the House of a Thousand Corpses. I used to fucking love that
So
movie.
did I, dude.
And then I used to love Rob Zombie's movies because I was into like movies. I've always been super into horror movies, and I loved his movies because they were gory and brutal. And I was like, that's not necessarily what I'm looking for in a movie anymore. I was like, it's like I don't want to watch a movie that's just gore porn anymore. I used to be into that. I used to really like those movies. Now I'm just like, yeah, like I'm down to see like gore and like, someone get eviscerated, but I still need like a fucking story with it. Like, and so like that movie was kind of like, it was disappointing because it's very much, it focuses so much on visuals, and like shock value that there's a lot to be left desired as far as like a story element or it's like some things are just so silly that it completely removes you from like any type of tension that would be in the movie. And so I'm just let's go into Home Alone.
Real quick rewatchability for the night before.
Oh yeah, I would
say,
definitely
yeah.
I would fucking watch it again. I might watch it again this
that's
week,
what I was
honestly.
saying.
Like
I'm probably gonna watch it.
I was like, I might go home and watch that shit, honestly. Like,
All right, I'm gonna run and grab a round of beers, and then we'll start Home Alone.
all right, well,
Y'all ready?
I love those games. Yeah, let's get into fucking Home Alone, man. First off, what a fucking classic, dude. This is a classic movie.
1990 comedy family movie.
You know what? I think that's what makes fucking Home Alone. Didn't you ask about rewatch? No, sorry. The Home Alone. I think that the reason it's so rewatchable and it's a classic is like movies that from like a certain time, like you were saying, like you can't rewatch a lot of movies. Or when you do rewatch them, it's like. It doesn't hold up, but like movies from like that era,
From
like
your
anything before that,
childhood,
they're always rewatchable.
They're like formative, fucking
Well,
in your brain.
it's because one,
formative years.
they tell a story, and they take the movie to build tension. Because this is something we'll just get into it. Like let's get it, like go footballs to the wall. I didn't realize about the very first movie, like all the. Because I honestly, like, I was trying to watch it while I was, fucking working like 75 hours in that one week. And I kept falling asleep. But it made me realize that the scenes where he's fucking up the bad guys like with all these traps and stuff. That scene is only like 15-20 minutes long.
No.
It's really short.
There's a
like
lot
in that movie's
towards
almost
the end too.
and that movie's almost 2 hours, so they take a lot of time to build this up, right, and create like this tension, and you finally get that release of this tension in the last.
But they did a good job with the story during that time.
And they build the characters.
The scenes were great.
The dialogue is interesting, and that's kind of the thing. Is like now we live in an era where everything's got to be immediate, so they don't take the time because people don't have the attention span. So a lot of people
want you to assume.
That's
things.
That's why so many big blockbuster movies that are still successful are just like mindless action movies. Whereas like, with older movies, there's things that you have to kind of take a little time and consider. And there's even things where on a first watch, you might even like have missed it. And you're like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time I watched this movie. Right. And so like that's with Home Alone. Like the dialogue is on point. It's fucking funny. Everybody in that movie is funny. Like, it's some of the most memorable lines of all time. Like Uncle Frank in the beginning, "Look what you did, you little jerk." Like everybody fucking knows that line. Or what is it?
You're such a disease,
Kevin. Yeah, it's like, keep the change, you filthy enemy. Everybody fucking knows that line, man. It's like,
I don't want to sleep with him. He pees the bed.
Fuller pees the
pees the bed. Yeah.
Fuller, go easy on the Pepsi. He's just over there like smiling at him.
Yeah.
I don't want my own family. Families suck.
That's Macaulay Culkin's brother. Did you know that? That's Kieran Culkin.
Yo.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Fuller.
I do. I always remember the "look what you did, you little jerk," because he's pouring milk and they're eating pizza, right?
Yeah,
and it's such a weird thing.
It is weird.
She's trying to get rid of the milk. That's what she says. I hope you're all drinking milk, Catherine O'Hara, because I'm trying to get rid of it.
She's fucking great.
I love Catherine O'Hara.
So good.
Bro. She's so funny in fucking Orange County too. As the mom, dude.
Oh yeah,
fuck, dude, so fucking funny. She's just always drunk and shit. Oh god.
Or that Schitt's Creek show, like she's.
I never saw it.
Oh, dude, she's.
But I love Eugene Levy too. Man.
Yeah, dude, they're like that show is so funny,
good, dude. Me and April binge watched the shit out of that.
Yeah, same.
Let me throw all this crap out there. 1990 family comedy director Christopher Columbus, bro? No, I'm kidding. Written by John Hughes.
Yep.
66 Rotten Tomatoes, 80 audience. Tagline: a family comedy without the family. That's pretty good. I like that tagline.
Yeah, honestly, I agree much more with the audience score than the critic. One, it's one of those movies where it's such a ridiculous premise, but the way it's executed, it's done so well. And it's like it's never like, he is like this impervious to trouble, right? Where it's like there's always that if these guys catch him or get their hands on him, he's just a little kid and he's totally fucked, right? And that does happen. They finally do catch him, and it's a very bad situation.
Oh yeah, and they hang him up on the hook.
And here's an interesting thing is during one of the takes the take that they kept in, Joe Pesci actually bit Macaulay Culkin's finger, and he's still got a scar on it to this day. But here's the other thing that was funny, because Joe couldn't cuss, really couldn't cuss on set.
Yeah.
But it's like all those weird sounds he's making. It's not like fake. He's actually cussing under his breath.
Yeah.
And they just like didn't mic him, so it's muffled, so you don't hear him actually fucking swearing. Like, just brilliant.
The layers.
So convincing.
It's funny because like he was doing all kinds of like mob movies and shit.
He
back
literally
then.
Cousin Vinny, dude, that movie's dope.
Dude, it was Marissa Tomei, bro.
Oh my
God.
When did
She is
Goodfellas
so
come out?
fine.
Because Goodfellas is like really, it's either like 1990 or
around there,
92.
something like that.
It's really in that same
Marissa
time
Tomei
frame.
in that movie is like the only time I'd like jerk off to a chick in a movie, probably. She's
dude,
just so hot,
My
dude.
cousin
And she's
Vinny.
still hot.
Yeah,
she holds up, dude.
Wasn't she Aunt May or something?
Dude,
Yeah, and she's.
But what I was gonna say though about the Home Alone, the layers of that movie.
Goodfellas
dude,
was 1990, by the way.
Yep.
fucking the old man that spreads salt.
Yeah.
Dude,
The neighbor.
There's like the whole story with that guy
Yeah.
intertwined in that movie. You
I
know,
know.
It's a whole
And
side
it's like-
story.
but also he ends up being like the hero.
He's
know?
the one. He says
Well, and
that
it's-
very memorable line and very poignant line. He's like, "How you feel about your family is a complicated thing."
Yep. And he also says you're never too old to be afraid. Like, which is like
That's true,
a
yeah.
fucking he says some like really
He's-
wise
wise stuff,
poignant
yeah.
I think
shit,
people
yeah.
like overlook that his whole role in that movie, even though it's
I
like
feel yeah.
he ends up saving him at the end, and the fucking
Well,
bandits
and-
like actually catch him. You know.
Well, and Kevin is scared of him because his brother tells him this wild story. Because he is kind of like a scary looking old guy, and he's like he's grizzled,
hiding bodies down in the salt.
Yep. Well, he's grizzled and he's tough, and he's like, how many old men with long white beards do you see fucking shoveling in the winter? Like that's an old tough motherfucker, and so
Yeah.
like that's somebody that
Pulling around a
as
trash
little
can
kid,
full of salt.
yeah, as somebody as a little kid, you saw if you were by yourself and you like ran into that guy, you'd be fucking scared. But that that's a great thing in this movie. It's tempering your expectations, whereas like somebody that you think you like would be afraid of is actually a really good person. So it's like it's a movie where under like all this goofiness, it's very much has to do with perspective,
deep
right?
stuff.
Yeah, it has to do with perspective, and it's like and sometimes like your perspective of things, like especially when it's in the moment, you can be really wrong, and that's what Kevin comes to find out. I was like, this guy isn't scary at all. He's a good dude, and he's just like
Misunderstood.
and when he comes in for the win at the end, like
Yeah.
it's like hell yeah.
Growing up, I would always get the Kevin. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Everybody would yell that at me.
Yeah.
It's a little
dude, the
thing
way
from my
and
childhood.
the way she yells it, dude, like that deep, like visceral, like it really comes out of
Yeah.
her, like at the top of her lungs.
They're on the
But
airplane.
I gotta say, it's like I love the heart of this movie, but the one thing that gets me every time and makes me fucking like die laughing is the scene where he catches him at the stairs. He jumps over like the trip rope and catches his ankle, and then Kevin picks up the tarantula and puts it on his face, and then Marv screams like a little girl. Dude, that makes me laugh so fucking hard every single time.
Then he ends up fucking hitting Joe Pesci with the crowbar.
How do you like it, you jerk?
Oh shit, dude.
That was good shit.
Have you seen that thing about when Kevin goes grocery shopping and shit? It comes out to like 1950, and people have like priced up what he bought that day in today's money, and it came out to like $77.
Oh,
or
I'm
something.
sure, dude, and it's not even that much stuff. Like,
I know.
it's
Holy shit.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
Holy
how
shit.
true that is, but
I mean,
like I've seen
I
a
would
couple TikToks
honestly,
about it.
I would believe like I think it would depend on where you are in the United States. Like if you're in like New York or California,
They're in
I would-
Chicago, right?
Well, I get that, right? But I was like, just as far as because that's a pretty broad thing, right? Prices are really kind of different depending where you are.
I think they did it on Amazon.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's in Chicago, it's possible, but that does seem still a little high. But I mean, if you told me like $45-$50, I was like, all right,
Isn't that
that's
house in Chicago, the house where the Home
Oh,
Alone
yeah.
was filmed,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the family had to they were living there while the movie was being filmed. You
Is
know
that
that?
right?
Yeah, the family had to crawl across the floor and shit through scenes.
Oh, the
and
family
stuff.
who
the
actually
family that
lived-
owned and lived in the
Oh.
Home Alone house, dude.
That's
While it
hilarious.
was being filmed. I read some shit about that a while back.
That's
Sorry.
that's cool. No,
Just
I
some
didn't know that. That's
Drop
that's
on
a
there.
wild fun fact. Yeah,
Yeah, look it up.
See,
what-
Nate
I-
dropping
if I
dropping
had the
tooth
laptop
bombs.
with some
What else is
internet,
John
I should be
Hughes?
the
Is
guy
he
looking it up.
Ferris Bueller?
Dude, he's all those super famous movies from like the late 80s, early 90s. So he's like Breakfast Club,
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
16
thinking.
Candles, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he's got so many big movies. Both the Home Alone movies.
He's
but
got a real specific vibe. Like you could kind of
Yeah.
tell it's.
Yeah, he's got a touch. He's like his movies are funny, but they also always have he also did Uncle Buck. That's a John Hughes
Oh,
movie.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my
Fucking
favorite
John
John
Candy.
Candies, bro.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's
I just about watched that recently too. This is on like Prime or something.
And it's got Macaulay.
Yep.
Yep. That I think, dude, they do like a callback or something. I think there's like a reference. I was looking at it's like those movies came out like a year apart. I think it was I think it was like Uncle Buck and then Home Alone, or I don't know. Maybe
they're pretty close together.
Do you remember Richie Rich?
No, Uncle Buck. You're right. Was first. Yeah, I do remember.
Richie Rich was pretty good. I watched it not that long ago. Kind of holds up as far as kids movie goes.
Yeah. Got any other notes for this movie, Kevin?
Yeah. Oh, Macaulay Culkin just recently got his star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, that's right. He did. Yeah.
And Catherine O'Hara was there, and fucking,
which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's crazy how old she looks. Like, it's 30 years, I know, dude, but God, dude, 30. It sucks that 30 years it seems like a short amount of time, but you age a lot in 30 years if you're already like 30.
Yeah,
34 years
30
now.
to 30 to 60 is like a lot of aging.
Probably think she was either in her late 20s or early 30s when that first movie got made, and so and that's 1990. So it's 2023. So that was 33 years
Damn
ago,
near
man.
2024.
Well, that was that crazy post where like if you were born in 1990, you're now older than Marv was in the first Home Alone movie, which is a crazy fact.
Yeah, that's make you feel old.
But you also kind of realize how fucking dumb those guys are, right? Like, and it's kind of a little bit convincing that a little kid could, like a smart little kid could fool them because they're idiots. Like, they're just, they're good at crime, but they're bad at everything else.
I was going to say, had they not went to that house, they would have got away with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They do it every year, right?
Yep. It's like, good at crime, not smart.
Yeah.
The
Wet Bandits. Why you gotta do that?
Why you gotta do that?
You're sick, you know that?
You're sick. You're sick in the head, Marv.
Isn't it weird how the opening, Joe Pesci's in the cop uniform, but he's just standing in their house, like, just waiting to talk to someone. Like, what are you doing in my house, fucking cop?
And then the pizza guy is just like hanging out there with him for a minute. And then,
oh no, my brother will get that. This is my brother's house. See, that's why
Dude,
I wanted
Frank is cheap as fuck, bro.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring up Home Alone 2. Like whenever when we're done rating, I just want to talk about a little bit about it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm almost done with my notes. But yeah, they keep hitting the fucking statue out front. And you know what else is funny? That little kid who's just fucking bothering the drivers.
Yeah, the next door neighbor's kid.
Through all the shit in the van and stuff.
Asking them all the ridiculous questions.
Yeah.
Whose kid is this?
What kind of mileage did you get in this van?
That's how Kevin got skipped, because she counted him.
Counted him, yep. You ever heard the fan theory that Kevin McAllister becomes Jigsaw?
Yep, I definitely have.
Isn't that silly?
I've never heard that.
Because of all the traps he builds and shit like that.
Yeah, that is funny.
It's like, it's kind of like that. It's almost like funnily confirmed by that YouTube video he did where he's playing the older Kevin McAllister.
Dude, that was so funny.
I need to go back and watch that. Yeah.
That shit was funny.
It was.
There's another fan theory that I brought a TikTok to show you. It's about, John Candy's character in this movie. So,
you playing it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
Is Gus Polinski actually the devil in Home Alone? There's a fan theory out there from Drew Gar on Reddit that this lovable John Candy character is not just the Polka King of the Midwest, leader of the Kenosha Kickers, writer of Polka Polka and numerous other hits in the early 70s, a man that was huge in Sheboygan. He is indeed the devil, conveniently placed to steal Kate McAllister's soul. While stranded in the Scranton airport and desperate to get home to Chicago to see her son, Kate is causing a ruckus at the counter. Gus, being the devil, notices her in distress, moves in closer to listen in and see just how far she's willing to go. Kate then says, "If I have to sell my soul to the devil himself." At this moment, the devil can officially jump in and act. The devil then offers Kate a ride to Chicago, which is what she was willing to sell her soul for. She agrees, essentially selling her soul. Gus smiles. The deed is done. Perhaps this airport had some special supernatural power. Maybe she stumbled into an alternate dimension for this to take place. After all, that is Elvis behind her in line. Scranton Airport is essentially a crossroads when you look at it on a map. There's a myth that you can give an offering to the devil, in this case her soul, near a crossroads. You can also point out the ironic twist of fate that usually accompanies dealings with the devil. In this case, it's the fact that if she stayed in the airport, she would have arrived home at almost the exact same time, essentially selling her soul for absolutely nothing except for a terrible ride home in the back of a van with some polka bombs.
That's wild, dude.
Isn't it? That's fucking
wild.
Did she lose anything though? Because I mean, she still made it home on time.
Yeah, but barely. Like, I mean,
But,
she
like,
would
what
if she
did
would have
give
stayed.
up?
Well, that's why it makes it so interesting that it's like a she sold her soul type deal, because if she would have just waited with everybody else, she would have got home almost the exact same time.
But it would have been a boring experience just sitting at the airport rather than now she's chilling on the back of this fucking
With some weird
maybe
ass
uncomfortable, but the plane's uncomfortable.
But
Polka players, people playing music and shit.
Well,
It
and that-
sounds kind of interesting.
and that
It's just a
fun
fun
ride.
fan theory that I ran into. I thought
it,
it was-
That's funny,
it makes me think of the thing that John Candy says when they're in the fucking van together about his kid, where he's like, "No, I've never left him alone. I did forget him at a funeral parlor for like 2 days once," and I was like, "It's so funny, but it's so dark." Like,
yeah, good stuff.
everybody,
It is good.
sup, Kiefer? Kiefer's in the house.
in
Like,
the building.
he's been chilling in the fucking corner for like 5 minutes, and I didn't want to leave him hanging too long.
Damn, dude. I didn't even realize
Yeah,
you was back there,
he
dude.
fucking
snuck in,
he
dude.
just monkey snuck his way in. Like,
Monkey snuck.
we're almost done, Kiefer.
Yeah, we're almost done.
I just
Doing the
I wanted to
movie
piggyback off of this movie because I also said that I watched Home Alone 2. And honestly, dude, after watching, like, I mean,
Does it hold up? Because
it fucking holds
I feel
up
like
too.
last time I seen it, I was a child. So
It fucking holds up too, dude. And honestly, I think that some of the gags, like especially for like the traps, are actually funnier in the second one. I was
Really?
like, I think I actually like the second one a little bit more. Like watching it,
Really?
yeah, on this watch, yeah.
is it still Christmas? It's got to be, right?
It's Christmas, yeah. Because we're gonna spoil this movie right now too. So his parents literally get into New York on like Christmas Eve, and they celebrate Christmas Day together, like because they literally went to Florida, and he accidentally. So it's actually kind of believable. What happens is when he's running after his dad and like his whole family, because they fuck up again. Like his dad unplugged their alarm clock. Because it was on like
Not again.
on like one of those
I
yeah
remember
not
that.
again
Yeah,
but it was on one of those those old plugs where you plug it into the wall and it had like fucking 5 different plugs on it because he was trying to get like the battery plug out of it and didn't realize that it fucked the clock up, so they were late, so they were like rushing to the airport.
Run,
And then
Rudolph.
Kevin gets separated, and it's like dude wearing the exact same coat as his dad, who like kind of has a similar haircut, and so he follows that guy to the New York exit while his family goes to the Florida exit, and then he runs into the lady that works for the airport that takes the tickets, and his ticket gets mixed into all those tickets, so he ends up on that plane, which is kind of it's like it's a silly, but it's like not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, there's
It couldn't happen today because there's so many like e-tickets, but like back in the day when they were all papers, like it's kind of this where especially when security checks weren't like as deep as they are now. It's kind of a thing that could have happened.
It was early 90s, so yeah.
Yeah.
Shit was pretty loose.
Have you heard
Yeah.
the John Mulaney bit about Home Alone, Lost in New York? Where he's like, how do you get lost in New York? It's on a grid system, you simple bitch.
yeah.
That's a good one.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
But
just
like,
thought of that.
it's got that the shit with Tim Curry and fucking what's that?
That
Dude,
guy's all fucked up now, huh?
Tim Curry.
yeah. It's really unfortunate. He has like Parkinson's or some shit like that. It had Rob Snyder in it, like. and they're like more minor roles.
Donald Trump.
But it's got
Trump
Donald
2024.
Yep, he makes a slight appearance. But dude,
We're gonna make this
the
America
fucking,
great again.
and it's the same thing in the first movie. The part
I seen a little kid.
He was lost.
He was lost.
I said, "Wow, what are you doing?"
wow,
Why
wow,
is he
this
so
kid
lost?
is lost. Like,
He couldn't be any more lost.
thanks, Shane Gillis. Shout out, Shane Gillis.
I know, right?
But
That's special.
the part that cracks me up the most in the second movie is kind of the same as the first movie, because it's the scene where they have him in the park, and then Kevin gets free in like Central State Park.
It's
And
like a pigeon lady?
Well, the pigeon lady throws all the bird seeds on him because they have all that grease and shit on them, and it sticks to them, and the birds attack them, and like they like move away from it, and Marv does the fucking little girl scream again, and it's so perfect, and it's so fucking funny.
Pigeon Lady was
But,
like
dude,
the equivalent of Salt Man.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I noticed about too, is like all the gags that happen,
Parallel.
like they're parallel, but they're also like he ups the ante, because some of that shit I was like watching it this time around, and I was like, the first one is like little kid gags, and I was like, yeah, there's some shit
Little
that
kid
it would have like really, they would have really got, like with the paint cans, like you would have got hurt, you probably would have broke some teeth or knocked some teeth out.
Yeah,
but
knocked
some of the
out his
shit,
gold teeth.
some of the shit he does in the second one, I was like, oh, this could have fucking killed them. Like honestly, like some of that, like the worst one is there's like that tool shed at the top of the stairs, right? And it falls down the stairs and it hits them like full on.
Full force.
That actually could have killed you all the way to that, like falling for that long at that speed. I was like, that would have, and the drop from the first to the second floor on their back with that huge like it was like a pillar that he like strung up. Like that hitting them and then falling on them, like falling like a full floor down. It's like that shit could. But the worst offender is when he puts the fucking clippers on the handles of the faucet. Like they're on the faucet handles, like behind it. So when he turns it on, he gets fucking shocked, like, and he just keeps turning up the voltage. Well, it's like it only takes like a set amount of amps. Like it's not that many amps. It's like 75 amps will kill a human being, right? And it's like, and what, like he just keeps cranking it up to max. I was like, that would have fucking killed him. Like it would have stopped his heart. It's just like a bunch of, or the funniest shit.
That's how he
though,
became Jigsaw.
His hair was all fried, right?
yeah, his hair is all. And there's a
Hey.
scene where he's shaking, and then he turns into a skeleton. He's like, ah! It's so fucking funny, dude. Like both those movies are so fucking funny, but they have
classic.
they have the same theme though, where it's just like in spite of all the bullshit that your family puts you through, sometimes it's like that's still your family, like, right? Like, and it's the same story with the pigeon lady, where it's like she like is really intimidating and scary when he first meets her, but at the same time, like he eventually befriends her, because it's like, you can't judge a book by its cover. Like sometimes like people are down and out, like you can't judge everyone, like, because you don't know the circumstances they've gone through. And that's kind of what I wanted to like piggyback a little. I'm not going to talk anymore about Home Alone 2. I wanted to just piggyback onto one, just because it's like, it's cool that it's really the same theme, and the only thing that changes is like the stakes. Like the stakes are like a little bit bigger, and at this time Joe Pesci has a gun, so it's like, there's that fear, is like, oh, he actually might shoot the kid, like, because he talks about
kill this kid.
Yeah. Well, like when Marv finally makes it out of the hole, he's like, I'm gonna murder that kid.
So let's rate Home Alone 1.
Yeah.
I'm at like 7.5, bro.
That's where I'm at too, man. Like 7.58. Like it fucking holds up.
It
like
does.
it really
And
does.
maybe like Nate said, it's probably because of we grew up, we were young whenever this movie.
Well, it's two reasons. It's like nostalgia, but it's also the writing was just so much better, man. I'll give you a rating, and then I'm gonna elaborate.
Solid
Hell yeah,
eight.
Yeah,
Hell
dude,
yeah.
because
And-
it is like it's just ingrained in our childhoods.
Well,
I think.
it's
And ultimately, it is. I mean, it's kind of better than The Night Before, right? In the sense that, I don't know.
It's better storytelling for sure. The Night Before is funny, slapstick comedy. It's funny.
and it's got a good message, but
Definitely.
the way that Home Alone is boxed, it's just it's a better story, and
got more heart. Kind of, I don't know.
I wouldn't say necessarily it's got more heart, but it has more tension and story building up to that presentation of, like, you know, you have 2 hours where there's a huge fight at the end and this big separation between Kevin and family, and then through the course of the movie he realizes, even though they like pissed him off, how much he misses his family, right? So there's so much more build up to the not only into like the climax of him facing these burglars, but also the climax of resolving like all those issues and him like being embraced by his family, right? And the night before doesn't really do that. They don't. It's kind of a little bit crazy from the jump of the movie, right? And you don't really get to the heart of the film till like the last 15 minutes, till that first flashback. So there's not all this tension and like backstory being built through the whole movie, and that's kind of where a lot of movies fail now anyways, is because they don't do that anymore. Because a lot of people don't have the attention span for it, right? Like there has to be something constantly going on, and it's really done a detriment. It works for shows, like, you know what I mean, like that fast pace works for shows, because like, you know, you might have like a 30-minute episode where it's like not a lot happens, but there's a lot of story and character development, right? And then the next 30 minutes is like crazy action, and there's like a lot. But with movies, a lot of American audiences, because of the technology we have, because of fucking YouTube, TikTok, all that shit, not shitting on it, but it's just the reality where a lot of people don't have the attention span for a movie that is kind of a slow burn at first, and does world building, the story building, character building, and then you have like those big payoffs later. And it's unfortunate, that's why, you know, it's not just nostalgia, but it's like movies from the 80s and 90s. They really just have better fucking stories. I mean, even old ass movies where like there's really nothing going on, they're entirely carried by acting and by dialogue, right? And some of those movies are fan-fucking-tastic, and not a lot happens. It's literally just fucking dialogue almost the whole movie. But like the story and dialogue carry it, and so it's fine. And a lot of modern movies, they just...
Oh, you broke it.
I broke it, but I was pretty much finished. I was just getting to that. It was like, you know, you just really don't see movies like Home Alone anymore. You know, instead you get movies like Nate was talking about, like Violent Night. It's like, yeah, it's funny, but in 5 years, is it going to be that funny after you've seen it 2 or 3 times? Probably not, because it's missing that core element of a story and a heart, which most American films just don't fucking have anymore.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Dude, that's the other thing. Just so many classic lines, but I still stand by this. The biggest one of all still got to be, "Keep the change, you filthy animal." And then in the second one, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal."
All right, rewatchability, 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. Every fucking year since I was a kid, I've seen these movies, and you know, I think there was maybe like a 2-year pause this time for me, like watching both of them. But damn, they're still both so fucking funny. Like, I was surprised. I was like, I'm an adult, and I think this shit's hilarious.
Any holiday notable
and I'm
mentions?
gonna leave it with this. Wouldn't want to ruin your fun, Mr. Cheapskates.
Honorable mentions, you said?
Yeah, you got any honorable mentions?
For Christmas movies?
Christmas movies? Like 2.
I don't know. I don't really watch a whole lot.
Jingle All the Way?
It's been forever.
Hey, I don't care. You guys can make fun of me.
The Grinch, I guess.
Oh, yeah, the Jim Carrey one?
Yeah.
Or the original one? I like both of them, honestly.
The Jim Carrey one.
And then there's another new one, too, right?
The animated one?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I'm actually gonna say The Nightmare Before Christmas, man.
Elf.
Oh yeah,
I grew up on that movie. I love that movie, dude. It was my sister's favorite movie, because she's a little weirdo. I literally
chicks love Tim Burton.
Well, no, my sister watched that movie from the time she was 2 years old till the time she was 3 years old. And when I mean she watched it almost every single day.
On the daily.
Yeah. It was like, because, you know, when you're a little kid, every little kid has that one movie you have to play to make them happy. And for her, it was The Nightmare Before Christmas. For me, it was the original Ninja Turtles movie. And if somebody would turn it off,
don't leave me hanging.
If somebody would turn it off, I would start crying.
That's my top 3. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rocky, Braveheart.
Dude, that's a
Braveheart.
That's a good top
Fuck
three.
yeah.
Honestly, dude,
Braveheart's in my list of movies to pick.
I would actually, I probably would put the original Ninja Turtles movie in my top three.
Really?
I
So
fucking,
good,
I
dude.
fucking, I
So
fucking,
good.
I fucking.
Is it that good?
Yeah.
It's as far as like a superhero / like a movie like that. Yeah, that movie actually has way more heart than people give it
I
credit
spent
for.
like $200 on the Nika collector's action figures of those
Oh
turtles.
yeah,
dude.
man. No, 2 and 3 they get progressively worse. Like 2 is okay, 3 is total dog shit.
That's like Rush Hour.
I still will watch it
it
just
gets
because.
progressively
Yeah.
worse.
but man, that
Let's,
first one.
Right.
I'm not finished with you.
Right.
Damn.
Let's wrap this up with one thing left to do. Are we going to do that thing we said, or did you want to pick something else?
What
Do
did
you
we
remember what we said?
No, what'd you say?
We said we might do Banshees of Inisherin and In Bruges.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's 100% do that. So I'm gonna pick In Bruges because I need to rewatch it, and it's got one of the funniest fucking scenes in any movie with those two people. in
See,
it.
I've
Like,
never seen that one, but you've never seen Banshees of
I have
Inisherin,
not,
which I
and-
fucking
and
love.
I like both those actors.
great.
Like
I love Colin Farrell and what's the dude's name? Something Gleason?
I
No.
don't remember his name, but
yeah.
he's a fucking great actor, dude.
But
He
Banshees
really
of
is.
Inisherin also has Barry Keoghan, who I fucking love.
Yep, we're doing it. We're doing it. In Bruges,
All right.
Banshees of. Yep.
All right, there you have it, folks.
There you have it, folks.
Merry
This is-
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy fucking New Year.
and a happy
fucking
New Year, you filthy animals.
Happy holidays, all that stuff. Have a crazy Kwanzaa. Have a dignified Ramadan. Have a happy Hanukkah.
There.
Shalom alone.
I like that was the
Oh,
quietest
dude.
one. Happy
8
Hanukkah.
crazy nights, dude.
Oh, 8 crazy nights. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's
Fantastic.
a Jewish one.
Yeah.
It's still Christmas too.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
Jewish
technical foul.
Jewish Christmas. You know, like
Oh, that's so great, dude. I love
Can
it.
I walk around with my morning erection? If you want an automatic ejection, because that's a technical foul. But I'd like to see it anyway. All right, bye, everybody.
peace out, everybody.
Hey, I tell you what I'm gonna give you, snakes. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.